And we are live. Let's make sure our levels and our sound is good. I see y'all in the chat early. I see y'all also not paying attention. Why didn't it start yet? uh, we were talking for a second, making sure everything was straight.
Exactly.
Can y'all hear us all right? Can y'all hear
Check.
the sound? We're good sound wise. Let me double check on YouTube myself. Talking Nets.
Yo, Keith and Poppy, yes, sir.
You already. Now he's in tune. We'll send another post out. Got it.
Easy Money Sniper, I see you in the chat. Yo, is that the real KD? No, I'm kidding.
Okay. All right. I just got to send a tweet out from Talking Nets so we get a couple more heads in here.
Take your time. I get how the noties work.
Some people be like, how come the show doesn't start on time? I always put in the comments, like, show starts at 5 minutes, 6 minutes, like, so people get it. All right, yo, pose for the camera. Got it.
Beautiful.
Okay, going to Talking Nets, Twitter.
Easy Money on TikTok. Yeah. I know you, bro. I follow all my Nets homies on TikTok. If you're a Nets fan and you're on TikTok, follow King Papi Solo. I'll follow you back.
Word, I need to hurry up and go ahead and learn how to use TikTok and stop
It's
being
the
a boomer.
easiest platform in the world, bro. You're gonna be like, why did I wait so long?
I know. I actually was on it in the beginning. Like Gary V put me on in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But in the very early on days of like 2019,
It was all dancing.
yeah, it was all little
Yeah.
girls dancing in their rooms. I'm like, hold on, they gonna have me on To Catch a Predator. I'm like, I gotta
That's
get
why I
this
didn't
out of
make
my
anything.
phone.
But then I started seeing dudes use the trends for their own niches, and I was like, okay, now I understand. Like you don't gotta dance; you could just talk, you could just entertain.
Right. So, I tried to get in there. I took the wrong approach. I tried to get in there and do what everybody else was doing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
copy trends
Yeah,
and just like do the videos that were trending. I got some love, no lie, but like everybody gets love because of the algorithm. But
exactly.
it just at the time wasn't worth my time. Like at the time I'm like grinding trying to get, to where I am now, like actually
Mm-hmm.
like get into the media and, get some notoriety, and I was like, nah, it's a waste of time. But
Honestly, all you had to do was just post podcast clips on there and went about your day.
and that's the other thing too. I used to clip up the pod and put it on Instagram, Twitter. That's how we got, noticed. I'm like, I could just do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. It's just an extra
Yeah,
platform.
yeah. Just reusing content, recycling content. Bro, Poppy. So last playoffs this year, hot take. I mean, you could say that because this year. I think the playoffs are better in general, anyways. But I think this year playoffs are going to be beautiful for a lot of teams. Harden needs to step up. You're not wrong, but he will.
All right, we're about to start. I just tweeted it out. Let me
I see
retweet
it.
from my personal.
I'm so excited for today's game, man.
I
Whew.
think I gotta put the Twitch link out. That's another thing. I'm on Twitch this year with it too.
Smart man.
It's just my boy Joe's McFly, who I do my baseball stuff with. He was on Twitch earlier, like last year. Like he set out to build his Twitch community last year, and I saw what he did in a year, and I'm like, damn, that's a whole new platform
Yep.
that he took over. He's got thousands of followers on there, and he became a partner. I'm like, all right, I'm lacking. I gotta.
Especially with sports content, like Twitch is oversaturated, but not with that much sports content. So like I be hanging out in the sports category. It's like 8 people in there, so it's like
Yep.
people can find you pretty easily. Are we on Twitch right now?
Yeah, I'm putting the link underneath the YouTube link.
Got it.
There's a whole zero people watching on Twitch, but I think this is like the fourth episode on Twitch, so
Yeah,
no
it's gonna
big
take a
deal.
little bit of consistency.
No big deal. I'm working on this thing, Dolo, which is fine. I have accepted the fact that I am Dolo in this whole talking Nets thing. I didn't set out to be Dolo in it, but hey, doing
Yeah,
it by myself, I can bring in Papi
Whoever you want.
Solo, right?
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
Dolo, but I'm with Papi Solo. So I plan
Love
to
to hear it.
just keep like the seat revolving with different talent, different creators, different people that are Nets fans to talk about the Nets. And I think that's how it was meant to be, man.
I respect it.
Shout out to my old co-host who moved on. That's his decision. But it ain't stopping me none. I
Yeah, better
honestly
not, man.
I was trying to get him to be on board for this next run because I'm like, yo, we finally did it now. Like all the work that we put in when there was nobody paying attention, like, now I'm on the radio. Now the Nets are gonna actually make the run we hope this year to the finals. Like, let's get it going.
It's
But
kind of a weird timing to hop out. Like, it's a perfect storm. You
it
would
really
think
is.
anybody wouldn't want to be part of that.
It really is. So I'm like, all right, hey, you get out the seat. There's plenty of people that want to be right here in this
Yes,
seat.
sir.
All right, so we wasted a whole 6 minutes of y'all time.
We got some Twitch viewers in here now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, let's go. I see the Twitch people. When you see that little purple logo, that's coming from Twitch. Yo. All right, let's do it. Okay, here we go, folks. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Talking Nets, episode 144. Man, I did not want to talk about this on Saturday. I damn sure didn't want to talk about it yesterday until we heard the news and the MRI and this, whatever. But we're at the halfway point of the season and KD is out. It's almost a little bit like deja vu when he went out with the hammy last year. It's been a full calendar year now since James Harden played his first game for the Brooklyn Nets. We've got 3 games on the road this week, so that means Kyrie is playing in all of those games. I've got King Papi Solo joining me. Act like you know who Papi Solo is. If you don't, you're about to find out. Nets World, we're bringing in different hosts, co-hosts, and we're going to talk Nets. Without further ado, talking Nets. Let's get it.
We go hard. 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 We go hard hard. Brooklyn, we go hard. We go hard. Brooklyn, we go hard.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Talking Nets, episode 144. 144 episodes in. It is January 17th, 2021. Martin had a dream. MLK Day. And if you don't know, on MLK Day, the NBA treats the holiday like a holiday and they line up a full slate of games.
Love to see it.
So the New York Knicks are on right now. Their game just started at 1. The Brooklyn Nets will play at 3. So we'll use this podcast time also at the end as like a quick preview for this Cavaliers matchup. And we'll take a look at the schedule to come. But let's not bury the lead here. I have a special guest with me today. King DJ last week, King Papi Solo on this one. King Papi Solo, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them where you're from, how you became a Nets fan, and tell them about what you've been doing with New Rivals and everything from TikTok to Twitter and your brand out there as a Nets fan.
I got you, man. First, I want to say thank you for having me on. This is one of the podcasts where I watch from afar. I lurk and I enjoy it. So it's good getting good, quality Nets content. I'm Papi Solo, a longtime content creator, pretty new NBA content creator. I started off with video games and such, but then my passion for basketball and the Nets brought me into this space. I've been a Nets fan for about 20 years, started in the early 2000s with my favorite point guard of all time, J. Kidd, favorite player of all time, Vince Carter. And I'm from the Midwest. I'm not from the East Coast like some. I'm from the Midwest, but I'm in that era where we don't got to be fans of the team we're from, or I'd be a Pacers fan, and nobody wants that. So I've been a Nets fan my whole life, and even through the Devin Harrises and through the Darren Williams days and the Anthony Morrow days, I stuck with it because I believe in loyalty, and I believe that karma came back around, and now we have our best team in franchise history, man. Love to see it.
You love to see it, Nets world, baby. It don't matter where you're from, what team they tell you you're supposed to rep. We rep the Nets.
Exactly.
And they say there's no Nets fans, man. We got Nets fans in the Midwest. Stop lying.
It's the Nets world, man.
And I would like to keep bringing on different creators and different Nets fans like I have today to keep showing people there's more than just New York, New Jersey Nets fans out there creating, and there's some talented people. Papi Solo is hilarious. I caught some of his TikTok stuff. That inspires me because I need to go ahead and put myself into the TikTok world. And yeah, of course, the New Rivals pod. He'll actually be podding later tonight.
Yes. On
After
Papi Solo's Twitch. My podcast is a little different than yours. My co-host is a Lakers fan, so ours is more of a rivalry podcast where we go back and forth, a little more casual, with the talking back and forth. But it's a lot of fun. We got a Philly fan on there too, and we like to, give you that feeling of you and your boys watching a game. Y'all fans of different teams, and it gets a little spicy. So that's what my content is more of. I'm not super analytical, but I do know the game of basketball. I like to have fun with it more than anything.
Yo, I'm burnt out here. Jared goes wrong year, Keith. Yo, I didn't even change the I mean, we are about to be 3 weeks into the new year, and I have a frame that says 2021, and then I just actually said on the pod 2021. Man, whatever.
Man, you grinding too hard, bro. You grinding too hard.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith still got his Christmas decorations up, so y'all can give me a break. Stephen A. Smith still got stockings hanging from his fireplace, so y'all could give me a break on that.
Stephen A. Smith, man. I do want to shout out to him in the media for saying the Nets winning is not good for basketball. Thank you for inspiring us, because when we do win it, it's going to be beautiful for basketball. So shout out to Stephen A. Smith, man.
We had to boo this man. Boo. Stephen A. came to Brooklyn. We booed his ass.
I seen
He
that.
tried to act like, oh, I picked y'all to win it. Like, nah, bro, you're a hater. Kyrie for clicks. They had to come up with a new narrative about, oh, well, if the Nets win it, they're endorsing a part-time player and setting a bad example. And shut your goofy ass up. We
Thirsty,
see right
man.
through the clown show. We know exactly what's going on. Stephen A. screaming A. I'm Stephen Anti-Smith. I promise y'all I'm going to keep it real. The A for me is for authentic. I'm not going to have a clown show ever. You're never going to see me on WFAN, on Talking Nets, on any television show I pop up on with that nonsense. I'm not in it for the clicks. I'm keeping it real. So, man, let's keep it real and let's not bury the lead. I hate to do it to us, but let's watch this quick video right now from Dr. Raj Paul Brar.
Hey, it's Raj from 3CB. Brooklyn Nets Kevin Durant injured his left knee last night when teammate Bruce Brown fell into it, with the knee getting pushed inwards, valgus, and into slight hyperextension. KD was unable to continue and today was diagnosed with a medial collateral ligament MCL injury that will keep him out for 4 to 6 weeks. Based on that timeline, this is very likely a grade 2 MCL tear, similar to Lakers big Anthony Davis, and on average, NBA players miss about 41 days with this injury. The good news is that if there's any major knee ligament you prefer to injure, it's the MCL, because it has an excellent blood supply and therefore heals very well. That, along with the Nets' excellent physio and fitness staff, and KD's prognosis looks very good. I'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Yeah. All right. Well, KD is out. That's the title of the episode. That's what every Nets fan is talking about. And when I saw it happen, man, Bruce just gets bulldozered into him. I hate that it had to be Bruce. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, of all people, man.
Of all people, right? Bruce is kind of trying to fight for minutes. They're trying to give him a chance to be out there. He just gets knocked over into KD. But let's say this. It could have been a lot worse.
Exactly.
Could have been season ending. King Papi Solo, tell me what was going through your head Saturday when you saw KD go down. It's the one fear that Nets fans really have, right? Anytime he's gone down in the past where, like, you see him on the ground, it's like, oh, no, KD, not KD. Because we all know he's the best player in the world. His MVP, oh, no, his MVP chances are going to take a hit. But tell me the thought process that you had when you saw 7 go down Saturday night.
Well, luckily, every time something like that happens while I'm watching, I try to stay optimistic. I try to be like, it's just a sprain. I mean, I try to judge by them walking on their own and things of that nature. So, of course, my heart jumped. But after seeing that doctor's, diagnosis and other people's opinions, to me, I'm going to treat this like glorified load management. Katie's been carrying the team the whole year. I think 4 or 5 weeks off is well deserved. And last season he got hurt, different injury, but he came back and had one of his best playoff performances of all time. So I'm not, getting too down on myself or the Nets. I believe this is a good time for James Harden and Kyrie to dig in deep. And I think KD will come back and be the man we know he is, the best player in the world.
Now, as far as timing goes, sorry to break it to y'all, but Kevin Durant is going to miss back-to-back All-Star games.
Mm-hmm.
I already mentioned his MVP chances are going to take a hit. They're really pumping Giannis right now. They even had Jokic ahead of him, and we've got the Nuggets coming up soon, one of these games that got postponed from COVID that we got to make up. My next thought is, okay, who do we need to come back, right? KD is down, but in this last game, we saw the rookies really get a chance to shine, and they've been shining as of late. Who do we need to come back? Now, 2 hours ago, the Nets put out the injury report for the game today. LaMarcus Aldridge is now probable with right foot soreness, so he should be back. That's the first person I thought of because of his scoring ability. We're going to need LA to get buckets in the mid-range. Automatic Aldridge has got to come back and has got to pick up some of the scoring. Nick Claxton as well. Left hamstring tightness. He's questionable. And shit, this whole thing with Nick has been questionable. What's going on? Like, he's on the sideline in a Nike Tech suit. The last couple games he hasn't played. My man was really coming on. He was really starting to assert himself and look like the guy that we expected when the season tipped off.
Yeah.
He had a minor setback.
That's tough, but in the silver lining, and I don't know how you feel about this Nets Twitter back and forth, but we saw the emergence of Sharpe in Claxton's absence. I hate to put teammate against teammate, but I also think a little friendly competition and fighting for your spot can be a good thing. So do you like what you've seen from Sharpe so far with Nick Claxton missing some games?
Of course. Talking about this OKC game, which we can get into right now, might as well. Or not the OKC game.
No,
this,
the Pelicans.
Pelicans game first. It makes sense to talk about that one first. You saw the chemistry between Sharpe and Harden.
Right?
That's going to continue to flourish. Man, we all know the history of James Harden, Clint Capella. He had it a little bit with Claxton over here. We've seen it with some chemistry with LA, but Harden needs a big. He needs a big to play off of. And here we are at the halfway point of the season, and him and Sharpe seem to be on the same page a ton.
They do. It's fun to watch because I was high on Dayron when we drafted him. We needed a player that looks like him on this team. I didn't know how his skills would translate being so young, but his rebounding obviously translates to the NBA. His finishing has been super underrated. He's very finesse with being 280, 6'11". He's very finesse around the rim. So him and Harden has that chemistry that we've been wanting to see from Claxton and Harden all season. So I think it's great having those two players on our team, both Claxton and Sharpe, and they both do totally different things, but they're both super talented.
Sharpe has surprised me with how quick he's learned, how quick he's developed and evolved, because when we first saw him get NBA action, he was an instant foul. It was like he didn't know when to switch, or like he just looked like he was in above his head on defense and just couldn't control himself, kind of bullying the China shop. And then now we just seen him in this last week go against Valanciunas, Vucevic, and he's balling. Yeah. All of a sudden, they got him right. So kudos to the Nets coaching staff, from the Long Island Nets to this team.
100%.
This is a guy that we drafted hoping that one day he could be this, and he's already showing us flashes of what he can be in the NBA.
Yeah, 100%. That game was refreshing because, of course, it always sucks to see your best player go down, but the fact they were able to, take control of that game and on all cylinders. Patty Mills was hitting his shots. When he hit his shots, his like we can't lose. Kessler being Kessler, it's great watching him flourish, going from the G League and straight to the league and doing what he's done. That team was clicking, and I hope to see that, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I hate to put this negative energy out there, y'all, but a lot of y'all talk about what jerseys we wear. Y'all were saying that we need to stop wearing the City Edition jerseys.
They
The
too far,
jerseys
man.
that look like they look like my New Jersey Nets kid jerseys back in the day. Well, be careful what you wish for. We wore the Icon jerseys and they brought us bad luck. In the Icon jerseys against OKC, they put up 130 on us. I know we punted the game, but it was still a bad look. We rest KD in that game. He comes back the next game in the Icon Edition jerseys, out for 4 to 6 weeks. Go back to the City Edition. We're going on the road, so you're going to see the white jerseys on the road, maybe even the black jerseys on the road, depending on who we play, most likely the white Icon jerseys. When we come back to the blue, back to the City Editions, because I understand y'all say we wear them too much and we lose in them, but we just took a way bigger L in them this week by losing KD.
Yeah, 100%.
Quickly about
Let's feel
the
good.
Pelicans game, I guess we'll get our last thoughts. We smoked them. That was a scrimmage.
Yeah.
That was a get-right game. That was a bounce back after a bad loss. Bounce back after, everybody came out and said, oh, like, the Nets resting players, they punted this game. How did they get, how people come up with the narratives.
Yeah.
But what I thought about this game, okay, we start James Harden, Patty Mills, Kevin Durant, Kessler Edwards, Daron Sharpe. Daron Sharpe and Kessler Edwards are getting the starting reps and a lot of reps, and they're playing at a high level. It was our 21st different starting lineup.
Yep.
That's tied for the most in the NBA with the Lakers. Tell your co-hosts we doing the same thing.
But we're winning a little bit more than they are,
But we're figuring it out a little bit more. Our home record is what the Lakers record is, 500.
Woo.
You know what I'll say
bad.
about this game too? And we noticed this with the Bulls, right? We lost the game Monday in Portland, Oregon, to the Blazers. And then we came back with an immediate alertness and a sense of urgency. Immediately in this game, Saturday, OKC beat us on Friday or Thursday, whatever it was. We bounced back. The juice was there on defense. The intensity was there right away. I love when Harden is fired up. I love when KD is fired up because that means they're competing from the jump, right? They say the Nets don't start early. Well, this energy is how we start early. KD had 15 in the first quarter.
Oof.
Sucks that he went down like that, but we were getting right against the Pelicans. They had nothing for us. Cam was getting his buckets off. And go look at the last few box scores, right? Cam off the bench with 20. We're starting to expect this from him.
That's the one for me right there, man. Cam Thomas off the bench. He played well in the beginning of the season, got taken out the rotation, and it seems that every time his name is called, he performs. And of course, he makes rookie mistakes. He shot 1 for 7 for 3. But I love to see a man miss so many shots and still be so confident. That's still a good sign to me. But yeah, man, Cam Thomas, that spark off the bench has been beautiful. And I do want to publicly give my props to James Harden. I've been hard on him on Twitter, but he played like James Harden. And while the Pelicans aren't the best team, they have some talent on that team in BI and Valanciunas. And it's good to see James Harden hit his floaters, hit his threes, because when James Harden is on, it doesn't matter if KD's out. It doesn't matter if we're at home with no Kyrie. We can still win basketball games.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the future talk. I got a couple voicemails, and I see y'all in the chat. When we get to the end of the pod, we'll definitely talk. But yeah, Cam Thomas coming off the bench and giving us 20, you love to see it. Marks we trust, and I say in Marks we trust a lot. That's because he drafted NBA-ready rookies that are in the rotation and, they're about to contribute a lot more. And I think we're getting them ready to be able to do this come playoffs. And in Marks we trust, we also trust that there is a trade deadline coming up, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the OKC game for a little bit now. In the OKC game, it was a punt game, y'all. We knew that. These guys landed. Their plane landed at 5:30 in the morning coming back from Chicago. James Harden said he didn't go to sleep till 7 a.m. So what time you think they're getting up to come to the arena? Like, you sleep maybe 7 to 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then you got to get up and be at the arena like 5, 6 o'clock latest. That's not conducive to playing an NBA game against a team that was already in town chilling, waiting on you. And I said on this podcast and on Twitter, we are the hunted, not the hunter.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to give us their best shot. Everybody wants to win in Brooklyn, and OKC is no different. So they came out with the right energy, and we were a little shorthanded and tired. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the box score or the X and O's of a game that should already be forgotten. But for podcast purposes, I like to talk about 2 games at a time here, and we got to go back to the OKC game. I like the fight. At least we fought in the second half. We beat them in the third quarter, and then we came out in the fourth and challenged. It looked like, okay, here come the Nets. But at the end of the day, Harden was out there pretty much by himself. He couldn't get it done. The rookies are, trying to assert themselves and get it done. Dort gave us 27. SGA gave us 33. It is what it is. You get 26 from Harden. All of the other starters, only Bruce Brown was in double digits with 10. What I wanted to talk about this game for is because, one, Javon Carter, I know that Nets fans hate Javon Carter and we kill him a lot. But, trade him. At this trade deadline, trade him.
Can you trade him, though? Can you trade him is the question, though, man.
Somebody got to want a bulldog. Somebody got to want a defensive point guard. I guarantee you trade Javon Carter, he starts hitting those threes elsewhere. The experiment in Brooklyn is over. We also have the TPE, the traded player exemption, the traded play from Spencer. So in Marks we trust. Expect something to get done to help this team.
Something has to get done, man. The question is, what do we get for him? Do we get another ball handler off the bench? Do we get a shooter? Do we get a rebounder for that shooter? I 100% agree. I think we've seen that we need shooters to back up our other shooters at this point, man, with how the season's going with COVID protocol and slight injuries. So, yeah, I agree we need shooters. And, man, I was one of the ones who was excited about Carter in the beginning of the season. I thought defense, perimeter defense, but that man is just he's not terrible when it comes to, playing defense. He's just small. He's just a small dude. The league is bigger than ever, and he's not able to guard anybody that's over 6'3". It's just – and then his offense is just – he tries. I give him that, but his shots are just not going down. And when it comes to the Thunder – bro, when Lou Dort shoots 6 for 10 for 3, it's not going to be a good night for the other team, man. It's not going to be a good night. 27 out of Lou Dort is tough. And, of course, Gilgeous-Alexander, borderline all-star, did his thing. When teams come see, like you said, we're the hunted. When teams see the Nets, they play their hearts out, and that's what the Thunder did, man. They played crazy. Of
course. Like I said, we're going to get everybody's best shot, their best punch. It is what it is. I've come to expect it. I want more Nets fans to expect it. And I also want Nets fans to realize that the Brooklyn Nets, once again, do not care about these regular season games.
Yeah, good point.
They got home late, and they basically decided we're going to punt this game. If we can somehow beat OKC, okay. But one of the worst teams in the league is still a team in the league with NBA talent, and they're going to come in and try and hold it down. Now, Nate Holmes says it's Bruce Brown who's available for a trade, and then that made me think of Jay from BK, who wrote on Twitter the other day, Nets Twitter, don't know who needs clarity. Yes, Bruce Brown is eligible to be traded today, but because he signed his qualifying offer, he has to approve the trade. He loses his bird rights by agreeing to be traded. So he basically gets to choose his trade destination if and when it happens. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I was one of the ones that thought, BB was the obvious, trade asset. But then, Jay put me on to, his trade clause in his contract. And other than him getting disgruntled, why would he want to leave the Nets? It's tough,
And
Playing
that brings me
time.
to my next point. None of these guys want to leave. None of these guys want to go anywhere. They came here for the chance to win a ring.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Paul Millsap, ring chasing, right? Paul Millsap has been getting DMPs, but in the OKC game, he played, I think, his most minutes of the season with 19, almost 20 minutes. He gave us
didn't
8
look terrible,
points.
though.
He gave us 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say about Millsap, right? There was all this talk about, the Nets getting out-rebounded. When we lost to the Bucks, they were saying, we got out-rebounded. And then people were calling for the kids to play, for the rookies to play. And David Duke Jr. enters the starting lineup. And people are like, why is DDJ in it? And I'm like, probably because of his rebounding.
Yeah.
Crazy to think that we have a Paul Millsap on the bench who is known for his rebounding. I think in college he broke records for rebounding. We know his NBA career, he gets boards, but he's a step slow. Offensively, he's not going to give us too much. I don't know what we do with Paul Millsap. I don't know what his future is, but I just see a guy like that getting buried on the bench, and I know he's frustrated. He took some time away for his family. He took some time away earlier in the season, and people criticized it. And they said it was because he was mad about his spot in the rotation. What are your thoughts about Paul Millsap's future here with the Nets?
It's pretty murky. Now, while Paul Millsap played pretty decently against the Thunder, it was the Thunder. They played pretty small, so maybe his rebounds were inflated from that. But I did like what I see out of him more than what I see out of Blake Griffin. Unfortunately, when it comes to rebounding, I think his jumper's a little bit broke now, but I have more faith with Millsap shooting a three than I do Blake at this point. And I do think Millsap has a spot on this team. It could just be, a Jared Dudley type role at the end of the bench, just being hype, mentoring. But our rebounding is not the best. So unless we, package him with Carter and a TPE or something and get a all-around player who's a good enough rebounder, I don't know if Millsap is really going to leave this team. I think he's going to get more chance to play and prove himself, which will either raise his trade value or give him more minutes on this team.
I really don't care either way at this point.
Yeah.
We got to get this team ready in this next 4 to 6 weeks without KD. We got to get this team ready for the playoffs. We got to get this team figured out. All we do is experiment, Nash. All we do is try different rotations and lineups and see how guys play together. Literally, we did it last year. I think we had 37 different lineups starting lineups throughout the season. We're halfway through, and we're at 21. Yeah. So if we do another 21, that's 42. We're trying to break our record from last year. I need some continuity, and I think it's going to come through this stretch right here. Now, if y'all remember last year when KD went down with the hammy, who stepped up? Who took over the team? Who was in the race with Jokic for MVP?
James Harden.
The bearded one.
That's what I'm hoping for too, man.
What do you expect to happen is deja vu, and this is the same time we heard the point guard, right?
Yep.
That's when him and Kyrie discovered working together. You play point, I'll play two. Let me just get my buckets off as Kyrie just comes back and is finding his rhythm again and finding his shot. Harden, you distribute and also give us a little bit of that Houston Harden every night.
100%. You're kind of giving me chills just thinking about it, because I remember that moment last season where, KD did go down and we thought, ouch, that's our player. That's who we need. But we went on a great run. We saw some classic games out of Harden in that stretch too last season. And I don't expect, Harden's that kind of player where I think I shouldn't expect anything less from him. He's human. He's going to have his off games, but I think he still has that killer instinct. And I think he looks more in shape than ever as the season goes on. And I think this is, especially the away games. We have a shitload of away games coming up. And I think this is his time to get his rhythm. And I just expect the beard to be the beard and play excellent basketball. And, I'll wait till we get to our predictions of today's game. But I think that starts with against the Cavs, a good team. So I expect James Harden and Kyrie to be the best backcourt in the NBA when they're playing at the same time.
Well, I asked to get some voicemails, leave some voicemails in a time where Nets fans are searching for answers and unsure about the future. And you called up, so we'll play your voicemails right now.
I love you, Papi Solo.
Did you get that one?
Shout out to I love you too, man.
I have no idea who it is, but
I love you, Papi Solo.
that's
yeah,
it.
he's the
Just
real one.
3
That's
seconds.
love, man. On MLK Day too, man.
On MLK Day. Boy, I had a
feel the
dream
love.
that Papi
Yep.
Solo would be getting voicemails on Talking Nets.
Yeah, real one, bro. Spread the love.
All right, let's get into some of the other ones.
How do you think the Nets will fare in the upcoming weeks without Durant, but they'll have Kyrie available more for the road games?
I think that's Jules. What's up, Julia? How do I think the Nets will fare? Let's take a look. I'll pass it off to King Papi Solo, but let's take a look at who we've got coming up. The schedule isn't kind. But we were prepared for this road stretch. That's why they pushed the Kyrie button. What do you think about the Nets? How do you think we'll fare right now? We're in second place. And mind you, the team in front of us, the Bulls, Zach LaVine just went down this past weekend.
Saw that.
It's the NBA. You're going to lose guys.
See, that's exactly the point I was going to make. I think two things can happen. And obviously, I'm on the positive side. I think we see this adversity and we thrive through it and we become stronger, or we fold. Now, I don't believe we fold. I believe this team is constructed to make it through anything. So I see us thriving and getting some bumps and bruises, but learning and taking that into the playoffs with us. And I think, I'll make a hot take, but I think Kyrie comes back full time. And I think that is what really makes the absence of KD hurt a lot less, is when Kyrie walks through those Barclay doors.
And it's coming soon, folks. Like, sooner rather than later. And all those people that said, Kyrie will never play in Brooklyn. They're mad dumb, and they're eating their words now, and they're backpedaling, and they're trying to figure out, like, what actually is about to happen. And I can tell you this, all signs are pointing to Kyrie coming back. If you look at my Twitter, I don't know when I posted it, but Kyrie Irving is back in the building. Now, I don't have any kids, but I imagine if I had a son like Kyrie Irving, I would care about him a lot. And if he wasn't allowed in the building, I probably wouldn't show up to that building. I probably wouldn't be watching the team that he's supposed to play for unless he was on his way back. Okay, there it is. I got the pick coming. Our guy, Doug Barak, you guys might remember Doug coming on the show, and he had a picture of Kyrie Irving's dad coming to the game. I really think Kyrie has the chance to come back as soon as this month or next. Here's a picture. Papa Irving. You guys see, beautiful. Look in the middle. Why would Kyrie's dad
can't be random.
Why would Kyrie's dad be at the game Saturday?
Yeah. That can't
Maybe
be
because word on the street is we're working to get your son back here. Now, I believe the Brooklyn Nets have been working on this the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. The conversation around Kyrie is that there's supposed to be an exemption coming his way, because we've already seen that in other states. They have exemptions for professional athletes and entertainers to be able to do their jobs unvaccinated. We've now gotten to the point with this virus. I had the virus last Friday. I beat it in a day and a half, 2 days. I'm glad I didn't get COVID in COVID-19, 20, 21. I got it in 22 where it was a mild cold. I had a fever for a night. I had the chills a little bit. I coughed a little, I guess, and then I was over it in 48 hours. So we're not talking about people dying anymore. We're not talking about hospitals overflowing anymore. We're not talking about the same thing. And people need to hit that refresh button on their news and on their information and stop living in the past. Kyrie
100%.
Irving is not a villain. Kyrie Irving has been welcomed back by his colleagues, his associates, his teammates, his coaches, people in the building, and they're working on getting him an exemption. Now, the jokes about Kyrie getting the shot, he's not getting the shot. Why would you take a stand for something and then fold? He took a stand for something and he won.
Yep.
So wait on it, folks. It's not going to be because Kyrie got the shot. It's going to be because the world around him changed and things evolved and people started to understand differently what exactly was going on here and what exactly the threats are. Kyrie Irving isn't a threat.
Yeah.
He's going to be
He's the
hooping.
enemy.
He's going to be hooping in Brooklyn sooner rather than later. Next voicemail coming up.
Yo, Keith, what's up, man? It's Rich from Jersey. I always go back and forth with you on Instagram about my latest thoughts on the team. Always appreciate it. Been supporting you since right before the playoff run last year. Listen to the podcast. I'm a huge fan, and it's really cool to see you on the fan now. It's been super cool to see you, get to that level. But calling in, I know you got the new pod coming out later, talking about the KD injury and the halfway point. Excited to hear your thoughts, but man, this KD injury sucks. But this time of year, I think we're just gonna have to grind out wins, kind of like the dog days in the NBA season. And obviously, I know it's 4 to 6 weeks. I don't expect to see KD back before the All-Star break. I'm thinking that once we get back from the break, it's like the 6-week mark. But hopefully we can get Joey buckets back, and we're gonna just have to see Harden take over some games with Kyrie, especially. I know we got a lot going on, a lot of games going on the road over the next couple of weeks. So, I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that we just don't. Hopefully we got all these bad games out of the way over the last couple weeks, and excited to see how the team responds too without KD. I know he's the leader and all, but I know he's going to be there coaching them up. So excited to see what they do over the next couple weeks. And I know it's a tough blow, but it's just part of the season having to deal with.
Yo, I don't mean to cut you off, Rich. Appreciate the support, but we can't play voicemails at 2 minutes. Like, there's other voicemails, but y'all get the
Well,
gist.
I feel him, though. He's
y'all
not
get
wrong,
the gist
though.
of where he's coming from. It sounds like a regular Nets fan. Rich and I, have conversations on Twitter, or not Twitter, on IG. I saw someone say, Keith, what's your ad on IG? My name, bro. Real name, no gimmicks. I'm authentic. Real name, no gimmicks. I ain't come up with a nickname. I just ran with what my mom called me. Keith McPherson. That's how you can find me on every platform, or find me at Talking Nets. Honestly, I care more about the Talking Nets Instagram than my own Instagram. You can hit me up there, and I do try to respond to DMs, except for when people are like OD haters or like just doing too much. But yeah, let's go to the next voicemail. We got one more. This is another one that is also 2 minutes. If you call on the voicemail, the cutoff is 60 seconds, yo. Please.
Hey, long-time listener, second-time caller. This whole situation with KD, it's the Nets. They can never have anything go right for them all at once. When it looked like we'd have the big three for the next 9 of 11 games, 9 of which are on the road. Saturday's incident happens. When the NBA rewards flopping in the way that it has in almost a decade now, you get what happened to KD. I mean, what happened was an accident, but Bruce Brown, he flops, and just the lack of awareness around him, he collides into KD. So now 4 to 6 weeks without Kevin Durant, people are talking about possibly punching games when they're at home because it's just Harden. The Nets don't have that room for error given how tight the Eastern Conference is. Secondly, people are also saying, well, now Kyrie needs to get vaccinated. This is the entire problem with the entire discussion about the vaccination status of Kyrie Irving. When he's comfortable, he'll do it. No one should be forced or compelled to do something just because it'll benefit the team or benefit the fans because they want to see their team win. Making the right choices for you, it should be first and foremost in any medical discussion. And I think that's just been lost.
All right. See, I mean, I can't let the full voicemail go on because you chose to use the voicemail time to talk about the vaccine and Kyrie. Appreciate
that's a
the
tough
call,
one,
but
man.
like, yo, we've had this Kyrie, like it's his choice. You can't. We know that he's not taking the shot.
Yeah, it's
He's
a
not
broken
taking
record at
the
this
shot.
point.
He wants to hoop, and his employer, the Brooklyn Nets, are working so that he can hoop in Brooklyn. Wait for it, right? The best thing the caller said was, it seems like Nets fans can't have nice things, right? That's the theme with this big three. In theory, it seems like a nice thing to have. KD, Harden, and Kyrie, but the universe is still not ready for this big three. We
They
can't
really
keep them
are.
healthy. We can't keep them together. We can't keep them on the floor together, whether it's a vaccine, whether it's an MCL, whether it's a hammy from KD, whether it's a hammy from Harden. We just can't seem to get this team, this big three, and this team to where we want them to be healthy and have a stretch run together. Maybe
But
that's
at the end
for
of
a
the day,
reason.
man, that means the 30 for 30 is gonna be so much better.
For
But I also
real.
wanted to say, I see on Twitter, LaMarcus Aldridge is available today, so that's super cool. And Joe Harris is on the court shooting. He won't be playing in this stretch, but he was on the court shooting, so that's good. Some good news, mixed in with all the. It seems like Nets fans are a little bit in their feelings from these voicemails, but I promise, guys, drink a coffee, everything will be all right.
We are halfway through 81 games. We are on the second half now. That was game 42. Today we'll see game 43. We need Nick Claxton back, LaMarcus Aldridge back. They might be playing in Cleveland in the next hour. Joe
Claxton's
Harris
out
is
for
on
sure.
the way back.
There's no Claxton at all.
Claxton is out?
Yep, he's out. LA's in.
Okay. Went from questionable to out.
Yeah,
What is up with
tough.
Clax, man? Is the hamstring that bad? We
guess
need him.
so, man.
So
We do need him.
Claxton is out today. Aldridge is back today. Joe Harris had a setback in his rehab, but he could be a couple weeks away. I think they might just wait until after the All-Star break,
Why
right?
not?
And that's when Voltron starts to come together. After the All-Star break, maybe Kyrie is full-time, maybe Joe Harris is back, Nick Claxton better be back, and there is a chance that this freak of a human being, this basketball alien, this specimen that we've never seen before, can just magically heal his knee in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But I'll say this about the Nets medical staff. They're the best in the world. They're overly cautious. They're
take
not
their
going to
time.
rush KD back. They know what's at stake here. You don't put KD back in 4 weeks unless he's been good for a week. I expect them to take the full 6 weeks, and then he'll be back and ready to go. Now, let's talk about this game today. MLK Day,
Yes.
Cleveland, 3 o'clock on Monday, January 17th, 2022 it is. The Cavs are a tough matchup for us.
Very
We
tough.
beat them twice already. But if you haven't been paying attention to the Cavaliers and what they've been doing, and I don't think you watch the NBA, I don't think you pay attention to basketball. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, our guy, Jared
Jay.
Allen, Big J, Lauri Markkanen. Isaac Okoro, I think, has been hurt. But, like, they've got some talent over there, and they went and got Rajon Rondo.
Yeah. It's a team, man.
I hope we win today, but if we lose this game, a midday game, the second half of a back-to-back, our third back-to-back in a week's time. We had a back-to-back last Sunday, overtime, into a Portland makeup game. Then we had the back-to-back with the Bulls Wednesday, and then the OKC Thursday, and then we just we didn't play it last night. We played Saturday.
No,
I'm getting my days crossed.
A fresh game.
So at least we got a game off. About to say our third back-to-back. That's ridiculous with the
It
schedule.
feels like it, man. It feels like it. It's been a lot of games in a short amount
It's
of
at
time.
3 o'clock. It's like, yo, this is early, but it's for the
Might as well be
holiday.
back-to-back,
What are you
yeah.
thinking, bro? What are you expecting out of this game today? The first game without KD, LaMarcus Aldridge back. What are you expecting to see the Nets do in Cleveland? Kyrie is playing in his old stomping grounds.
Yeah. I expect a tough game. I think this is Kyrie's first game against Cleveland since they beat us twice last season. So I'm expecting a little bit of revenge from him. I'm expecting an LA mid-range masterclass, a good amount of points from that 15-foot area. I'm expecting Patty Mills to be hot. And I'm expecting James Harden to control the offense and be that guy. From the voicemails, I see the common denominator is we need James Harden. I think all Nets fans know we need James Harden. So I feel like we should be patient with him, but at the same time, holding him accountable. And when he does play amazing, we should let him know because, being positive does have its benefits. So I think James Harden needs to be that guy. Patty Mills might need to, be the Patty Mills we saw for that stretch where he was dropping 20, 25 here and there. So I think we need to see our shots go in, and it's going to be tough to stop J.A. and Mobley in that paint. but maybe that's what Dayron's there for.
Rajon Rondo is out. He's got a sore right hamstring. He'll be out for this game. They're
Rubio's
also
out.
without Lamar Stevens, who was starting for them. I don't know, man. It's going to come down to how Dayron Sharpe plays, how him and Harden play together. Kyrie, we need Kyrie to have his highest scoring game of the season today. He knows that court. He knows that floor. He's put up 22. Give me 23 today at least, Kyrie.
30, man. 30, Kyrie.
And the energy has to be there from the start. This is the start of the run without Kevin Durant, where we can't look to fall back in the standings. We got to look to hold, and I think we can. Obviously, the Bucks or the Miami Heat are right on our heels. The Bucks, too. Cleveland is 6th in the standings. They're fighting for their respect, and they've been getting it. They're right now on a 4-game win streak. They're not going to be looking to lose on their home court today. The Nets have to bring it. The rookies have to continue. That's the biggest thing I'm looking for. If the rookies can continue to play like solid NBA players like they've been, giving us double-digit scoring, giving us high minutes, like we're relying on them now. It is what it is. We need Patty to be sharp. We need DeAndre Bembry to who do you think is starting for – that's a good question. Who do you think the starting five is going to be now? Kevin Durant is out. Bembry goes in for Durant. So are we going to run out Harden, Mills, Bembry, Kessler?
In LA or Sharpe?
And LA or Sharpe? Yeah, probably Sharpe. Give me LA off the bench coming in and scoring. Let Sharpe keep starting. Let Kessler keep starting to have their confidence and feel good. Okay,
Agreed.
We're done with voicemails. We're done previewing the game. Anybody in the chat, I seen the chat going crazy. I would appreciate if y'all didn't say anything about the Dallas Cowboys in the chat. It's not the time for that. Asia, I wish you would leave me alone about that one. I love you, but like we ain't gotta talk about the Cowboys anymore. It's over, man. All right.
The chat said Mills start. Who should start in his spot though? We need Mills with Joe Harris out. I think Patty needs to start. Oh,
Listen.
we have Kyrie playing, so maybe he's right.
Listen, Linda, listen. Mills shouldn't start. We get the most out of Patty when he comes off the bench and can be that pest. When he can come off the bench and just chill in the corner and hit shots, right? Oh, what am I saying? You're right.
He can, yeah.
No, he shouldn't start because Kyrie is back.
Yep, that's a good point.
So good. You did correct me. I'm forgetting because, we got to do this halftime, part-time.
Right. You got to be ready for both.
So, right. So, the new starting five, or at least for the away games, should be Harden, Kyrie, Kessler, or Bembry, Kessler, 3-4, and then LA at the 5. Or no, Dayron at the 5. So, Harden, Kyrie, Bembry, Kessler, Dayron Sharpe is what I expect to see. But that'll be another new lineup. Add that. So, now we're about to have our 22nd new lineup. And if that's not it, whatever the new configuration is going to be. So what else I got in the chat? I'm gonna slide back up. And
we live in a world where Dayron Sharpe could start over LaMarcus Aldridge, but I'm proud of the young man. But that is like an exact reflection of how this season is going.
Easy money sniper, bro. What are you talking about in the chat, bro? What's going on? I'm not gonna read it out loud. But what's going on in the chat?
That's a quote from one of my TikToks, man. He's a funny guy, man.
Thank you for clearing that up. I'm like, wait, that one didn't make sense. Okay.
Easy money, you're a funny guy, man. I see a lot of Kyrie love, which is great. I don't see a lot of that on Twitter. So it's good to see a lot of Kyrie love in the chat.
Okay, here's a good chance to go through the schedule because Claude Smith says the next 15 to 17 games without KD, I think we'll lose the majority of them. Sorry. That's the best I can do. Now, hold that thought.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at the schedule. I'm not confident, but I'm actually going to go against you with that one, right? Because it's not like this team is just KD and a bunch of scrubs. They're just going to change the way they play without KD, which is good for us. It's good for us. We're going to learn a lot about some guys. So the Cavs coming up right now, they're a tough team. Followed by the Wizards. Let me screenshot the schedule so I can put it on the screen for folks. Because this is going to get interesting.
It is.
Cavs today. Then we got the Wizards on the road. And luckily, like, these games are on the road because we'll have Kyrie. And even if Kyrie only gives you 9 like he did against the Bulls, it's the floor spacing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the threat of Kyrie. It's the option of Kyrie, right? Kyrie still got his shots up. Okay, so here we go. Cavs today. We could win this game. They're hurt. It's MLK Day. It's a 3 o'clock Monday game. Maybe if we just come out firing, we beat them. The Wizards we've already beaten this year twice. So
yeah, that's winnable for sure.
We can beat the Wizards without KD. The Spurs we should beat. We just played Lonnie Walker and them till overtime. We owe them one on their home floor.
100%.
The Timberwolves are nice. Like, Ant-Man, D-Lo, Cat, like they got something going over there, but they're beatable.
Yeah.
The Lakers come to Brooklyn on the 25th. We should definitely beat the Lakers without KD. We
already did.
We just beat them in crypto, and they're struggling. All I keep seeing is posts about Westbrook. Okay?
His brother in Spaces is talking crazy.
Anthony Davis has the same injury as KD. LeBron is LeBron, but those tickets are sky high already. I expect the Nets to hold it down wearing our City Edition jerseys. Right after that, we've got Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets, a makeup game.
They're not a great team either, though.
They're not a great team that, like, yeah, you see the Nuggets and immediately, what are you thinking? Jamal Murray's going to be healthy? He's not. Like,
Yep.
I'm not just conceding L's, and neither are the Brooklyn Nets. We're trying to stay at the top of the standings. Okay, the Warriors game at the Chase Center without KD. If we lose to Steph, Clay, Draymond probably be back by then. Like, I get it.
I think Draymond's out for 2 more weeks, so there should be no Draymond for that game either.
It'll be close.
Very close.
So good. If Draymond's not in, that helps our case. We could possibly steal one. Curry ain't been playing like Curry.
He hasn't. They
Go
just
look
lost to
at
the
his
Wolves.
stats. The Suns, we're
That's a
probably
one
not
right there.
beating the Suns
That's a tough one.
in Phoenix on February 1st. It's just probably not going down. But stranger things have happened. Do y'all remember that late night game where James Harden without KD, they came back and beat the Suns last year? Wait for it. The Kings, that's a win on the road. The Jazz, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough, but I'm not laying down and saying that we're just going to lose. We're just going to change our style of play. Kyrie will rise. Kyrie said he was in preseason form. Through this stretch, he's going to be in midseason form. You get the Nuggets again. Depending on how we play them or whatever, we get the Nuggets again in Denver, we could beat them. And the Celtics, we've beaten the Celtics every single time.
Yeah. They haven't lost to them in a long time.
Newsflash, they don't want the smoke with us. They took one of our old coaches. They're beat. Like, they're not gonna beat us. Do I need to go through more? I can go through some more with y'all. We got time.
Losing majority, though, that's like a very pessimistic take. Shout out to, what was it, Claude?
Nice. We're not losing
man.
majorities games.
Majority?
This is the Brooklyn Nets.
Do you know who we are? Come on, majority?
It's not the
Have
New
some
York
confidence.
Knicks. We're not just conceding L's. We're not just laying down. There's no way. All right. So then we go back to February after that. Another game against the Wizards. We could win. The Heat might smack us in Miami on February 12th. But then we come home, we got the Kings on Valentine's Day. Thanks. And then we run it back with the Knicks at the Garden. The Knicks are going to be turned up, thinking that they're going to beat us without Kevin Durant. By then, Cam Reddish should be going, and it's not going to matter.
We'll have no Kyrie for that game either, though, unfortunately.
No Kyrie, but by then, James Harden's MVP conversation will be full on go.
Love to hear it.
and we will go battle the Knicks, and the energy in the arena will be high, and we'll steal another game from them in the last seconds like we always do. And then we get the Wizards again, who we can beat. These guys are fighting each other. KCP and Trez, they want to smoke with each other more than they want opponents. The Celtics there when you need them. February 26th, we got to go face Giannis and the Bucks. Duck for cover. That's going to suck.
Isn't this around the time that KD could be coming back?
It's around the time, but I just think I don't think they're rushing him back. But let's say he does
Yeah.
come back for that Bucks game.
It's still a hard game, still a tough game.
We got the
Katie or not.
Raptors back-to-back in those, like, not home and homes, but, like, it's like a little mini-series home and away.
They're always tough for some reason, man. The Raptors.
Yep, and Kyrie won't be allowed to play up there.
Yep, both games.
Then we got the Heat again, and we got the Celtics when you need them. The Celtics, playing the Celtics this much and playing the Wizards this much is going to help us out. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But this is the fun of it. Papi Solo mentioned the 30 for 30. I always mention the championship DVD. This is the chapter that you stop on and you're like, whoa, I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what's going to be on the next. James Harden emerges as an MVP candidate. Houston Harden is back. Kyrie on road. Kyrie is good for 20 points, couple assists every game out. These rookies are emerging. Everybody in the NBA knows all the names of the Nets rookies because they're playing like NBA veterans. LaMarcus Aldridge still exists. He can still get buckets. DeAndre Bembry.
Team, man.
Who ever heard of DeAndre Bembry? I'm telling you, our role players are about to be noticed by everyone in the NBA, and every fan of the NBA will be all right. We'll be on track to win. Let's say out of those 15, 17 games he mentioned, give me 10 to 12 wins. Give me 10 to 12 wins, and I'll be fine with that.
Reasonable.
And we'll stay in the hunt. I don't know where we're going to be in the standings, but we'll stay in the hunt for the number 1 seed. I think through this run, we don't drop out any lower than 4. That would mean right now, everybody has 27 wins from 1 to 4. I think we stay in that group of 4. They're going to lose games too. So chin up. Don't be too worried about it.
I want to mention something in the chat I saw earlier about with KD out, his MVP, is out the window. Honestly, I've had it in my head this whole time that Kyrie's coming back. And I think the moment he's back full time is the moment KD was never going to win MVP regardless. The media already hates when the Nets are healthy. They already, think that we're a super team. So like I think fans who wanted the MVP, they were going to get it with a healthy KD anyways. So our focus should be championship. Right. All those regular season accolades, all NBA teams, MVPs are cool, but the Nets, we haven't won a championship, and that is my main concern. That's what I want KD healthy for.
Well said. Now, another good point brought up in the chat is that the mandates will change by the X Games. Blue4TG just said that. Now, I think there's a good chance that happens, right? I think by the time February 26th rolls around, or no, February 16th, we could be looking at a different mandate. We'll be in the second month of the year, and that's a month from right now. And with KD being out, I put out a tweet saying, "Hey, I think the Kyrie at home stuff gets accelerated." That's just me stirring the pot. I have nothing to do with anything. I'm a fan, turned fanalist. I don't know shit.
Insider. Keep the insider, y'all.
People think I know, but I don't know. I read everything like y'all read. I don't have any insider contacts. But I do believe that this mandate is going to change, or there will be an exemption for Kyrie, because it's kind of nonsense. We're not protecting anybody. We're not saving anybody from anything at this point.
Now, don't be too hot.
Basketball.
We see the pictures of you at the games. We know you know something. And you might not be able to say, but we know you know something.
Nah, I'm just a regular fanboy turned fanalist. I'm just happy I had a degree in my back pocket. I'm just happy I had some good work experience. I'm just happy that, like, me actually being a fan, like I'm a fan, black people getting an opportunity to be on, like, that all worked out for me. But I'm not an insider yet. I'm just into the media. I haven't even been on WFAN for 2 months. Like, I'm a fan turned fanalist, aka I'm just a fan of this. Just a fan
I like that a lot. I got some bad news though. Bembry's not playing this game.
Oh,
he's out with back spasms. One of our best defenders. That's
one
tough.
thing to another.
Yeah. So Bembry, get well soon. We're gonna need you for this run, my guy.
With that being said, let's wrap up. Somebody asked about the Talking Nets merch. They said, Keith, that Talking Nets hoodie you had on the other pod was fire. Yeah, and I think I saw someone ask about, I think it was Will too, about the shipping for Talking Nets stuff. It's all on shop.johnboymedia.com still. Shout out to John Boy Media keeping the merch up there, even though I'm taking the podcast and the brand and shopping for the next home. There's still ways for you guys to get the Talking Nets merch. Go to shop.johnboymedia.com, go to podcast merch, hit Talking Nets while supplies last. I don't know, they could take that off at any day, but as of now, it's there. So get you some Talking Nets merch. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the YouTube Asia mentioned. Bum-ba-da-dum. We are over 1,000 subscribers. We are a few hours of watch time away from being monetized where people can throw money in here. I would appreciate that. And it's on the way. So subscribe to the pod or get you some merch. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the channels. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. It is just me right now doing everything. I don't say that for sympathy. I say that for
because it's hard.
Yeah, I say that because it's tough. Like my job pays for me to be on the radio and to work on the radio. They don't pay for me to do Talking Nets. I do Talking Nets because I love the Nets and I love the community and I feel like our fans deserve it. But as I'm figuring out the next steps for Talking Nets, where we're taking it, right? There's got to be the next step, right?
Yeah.
Why do you set out to make a podcast? Like, perfect example, King Papi Solo. Why did you guys start your podcast? When you first thought of it, what were the hopes or aspirations for where New Rivals Pod would go?
Honestly, I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit off. I did it because nobody was talking in the media how I talk, how people that I'm with talk. So I did it to be a good representation to, you know, the outcasts, to the people who aren't represented on TV. So, yeah, I mean, I do want my podcast to grow, but I have no aspirations to be on TV or nothing like that. I just want to be a voice of the people, and I want to be able to say what I want when I want and not be like Stephen A. Smith where I'm focused on making my bosses more money. So my focus is to have complete control and complete creative control and put people on like you're doing.
So he built a space and a community for real talk, relatable talk, that no one controls, and there's no outside narratives, right? We did the same thing with Talking Nets under John Boy Media. John Boy Media is a baseball company. Talking Nets needs to go to a place where it's more of a basketball focus, a Brooklyn Nets focus. And the point of starting Talking Nets when we were under John Boy Media was to become profitable. Like some of the podcasts under John Boy Media have become profitable. We're just starting to become profitable now. You break 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can monetize. Now that we're profitable, I'm not going to say, okay, I got a new job on the radio, screw the podcast. No, I am reaching out to people like King Papi Solo. I am going to keep building on this so that we have Talking Nets when people see the Nets in the playoffs and other teams are eliminated and people start Googling Nets podcast, Nets fans. There we are, and there the community is. Now that we are profitable, though, I need to get my ducks in order, right? If I'm trying to make
100%.
money off of the work that I put in and what I built, it's all coming soon. And I appreciate you guys and I appreciate your support.
I want to answer a Bird's View on Twitch. The podcast is called New Rivals. It is a Lakers versus Nets. We have a third new co-host is a Phillies fan. So it's about new rivalries bubbling up in the NBA. We don't have many rivalries, but of course the media is trying to put the Nets Lakers as one. And we're going to capitalize off that because why not? So it's New Rivals. We're on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I also want to clarify with Claude Smith. They said disagreeing is gotten a bad rap. I agree with you. When we were talking about how the Nets were doing this run, there was no bad blood between what I was saying towards you. I was just disagreeing. So keep having your own opinions. That makes you who you are, and don't ever feel bad for disagreeing.
Keith, when we get into Clay's vlogs back, I would love to do them for the playoffs like I did last year or for big games. I got to get my guy Twitchy. Shout out Twitchy. I know Twitchy's going to listen to the pod. I got to get Twitchy to come and shoot for me. Honestly, yo, like I'm just evolving in my career and in what I do. It's a lot of work to go to the arena, shoot the whole game on your phone, or even sometimes I brought my Canon, shoot the whole game, go back home, upload everything, edit a vlog together, and then upload it on YouTube. I just don't have the time. Like,
That's why TikTok exists, bro. We
exactly.
would love 30-second blogs. The world
Exactly.
would love
So
that, my guy.
the thing about TikTok that I've learned, and as I'm still researching, because like when I come on TikTok, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm coming through like boom, 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 with a bunch of
Kicking that door
content.
down,
It's
man.
not gonna be like one
How you do
post.
it.
But what I've learned is that, okay, I taught myself how to edit videos on Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
Because about 4 years ago, I saw people editing their own videos and content and getting noticed. So I was like, man, if I learn how to edit, I can make anything I want, anything I can think of. Well, TikTok is a video editor. You have all the video editing functions right there. And people don't have the time span for a 10-minute vlog. But if you can make a dope 1-minute vlog of, oh, boom, and you put the little Siri voice on it, like, here we are entering Barclays. Let's go Nets.
Exactly. It sounds a little corny,
the
bro.
Nets are balling.
But
The
I
Nets
swear
are
it's gonna work.
hooping. Oh, the bearded one. Step back 3. Like, I'm gonna do that.
That's all you gotta do.
That's coming soon. So, all right, let's wrap this up. King Papi Solo. Make sure you follow him. Oh, Twitchy was here in the chat. I said, I know Twitchy is listening. He said, whenever you're ready, man. So now Twitchy is back in the city. He moved to the city. So that's coming soon. Vlogs from Talking Nets. It's coming. Everything is in the works. Just got to get a couple ducks in order as far as like who is Talking Nets presented by. Like I could, LLC it and it'd be presented by just me, but there's some interest out there from actual brands and companies and businesses. So I got to get that squared away and then we'll really start rolling.
Don't wait too long, bro. The world needs more Talking Nets content, man.
No,
So
you're right.
Don't wait for
You're
other
right.
people to give you that green light.
No, I'm not. That's why we're doing this right now. It's not sponsored by anyone. There's no ads on this. Nothing.
Sponsored by the people.
We just chatting with everybody and the Nets fans in the chat, so it's on the way. Make sure you guys hit like. I saw somebody say that. Smash like on the way out. Subscribe. Share the video. And I'll be back after the next 2 games. Make sure y'all follow King Papi Solo. That's the whole thing I'm putting
King
on.
Papi Solo on
for
Twitter.
another great Nets fan.
Papi Solo on TikTok, Papi Solo on Twitch. I'm just making content. I'm having fun. I'm showing you what it's like to enjoy an NBA season and not overanalyze it like they do on the TV too much. So, yeah, enjoy tonight's game. It's going to be a fun one, guys. Or today's game.
Yeah, the Nets are about to play in 45 minutes. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets. Brooklyn.